It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness.
If you would like to become a patron, click on the Become a Patron link on the front page of the Geocache Talk website or head over to patreon.com/Geocache Talk for more details. Patrons get the now famous blackout coins and other geocaching items during the year. Support levels start as low as the Bison Tube level, which is only $3 a month.
All right. Well, big thanks to Derek for drew a blank there.
That's, you know what? We've gotten so professional over the years.
Been a long day.
Smooth, yeah.
3, 2, 1. Big thanks to Derek of Baker Six Clan for our new opening and our featured patrons: FS Sabero, Geo Rick, Cash Addict Mel, Sir Drumalot, Janice, Tricasius, Rugels, EGK PBR, Albedo 0.39, Purple Turtles 3, and our new patrons, Widget Brittle and Action Trinity. So let's bring up, we've got a lot to cover tonight. Let's start. We're going to bring up our guest and also a special guest. So let me bring up Craig. We'll bring Craig up first. What in the world are you doing, Craig? Look at you. You're prepared.
Well, hello to you there, Gary and Jesse. How are you going, guys?
He's got a star-spangled mask.
The accents come along quite nicely. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm here for like what? It's been 6 weeks already, and look, you've turned me already.
That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But also to begin off, we're gonna do talk about a little news. We're gonna bring on Brian. So, Brian, thanks for joining us tonight.
Greetings, everyone.
Good to see you. So let's do that. Let's jump right into I think I'm actually going to hit the special, the breaking news one. So let me hit that one. So Brian, why don't you let everybody know what's up with the maze? Tell us what we're going to look forward to here.
Yeah, great news. So we brought the maze back to the U.S. in 2019 at Geo Woodstock, and we have 3 maze events planned in 2021.
Cool.
The first one being Mingo Madness, and then Jackson. And given the fact that we've all been in COVID and bored out of our minds, I had to create something a little bit new. So in addition to the maze, one of the things we're going to create is the Great Geocaching Escape Room. So it's going to be an additional action capability, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to create essentially a escape room that is very geocache centric.
Oh, very awesome.
So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I've spent quite a bit of time and energy putting this together, and I think it's going to be a great experience for everyone. So we'll have the opportunity to kind of time the event, and everyone will get an opportunity to work in teams to kind of simulate a escape room, except it'll be a COVID experience escape room. So instead of escaping in, you'll be trying to escape out.
Love it. Yeah,
I like it.
That's really cool to have that.
You can't come up with something better for geocachers than an escape room. That fits perfectly.
Exactly.
Or escape in room. I don't know. Whatever you call it.
Well, there are so many similarities between escape rooms and geocaching. And I just thought the marrying of the two things together would be an awesome combination. So I'm really excited about having everyone experience this.
So, just a quick question: what if you're like me and you hate puzzles, and you're no good at them? Basically, that's the reason why you don't like them. Do you have to be good at puzzles, or can you actually team up with other people that are good and then you do all the heavy lifting and they do all the mind work?
So it'll probably be a combination of what I've tried to do is build it so it's a combination of geocaching skills and puzzle skills, and so it'll be a team of anywhere from 6 to 10 people. I think will be optimal. And
Perfect.
the way we've designed it is such that you can, as long as you're within your group and you're comfortable with your group, then you'll have the physical spacing away from all the other groups. And so it shouldn't be a problem. And it'll just be a matter of trying to solve geocaching type problems.
Oh, very cool.
Perfect.
So if folks want to just do the maze part, they can do the maze part by itself. And then if they want to do both, okay.
Yeah, so when we did the maze in Woodstock in 19, we had kind of a separate area where we had different activities, and this will be kind of separate from the maze. And so it'll be kind of in a separate area at Mingo, and I haven't really worked out the details with Midwest Geobash or Jackson County, but my expectation is you can do either or both. Okay,
cool. Yeah. So just a reminder for folks that the first one, of course, will be in Mingo here in a few weeks. And then Jackson County is, I guess the next one after that would be Midwest Geobash. Is that next?
Yep, that's sometime in July. I can't remember the exact dates.
Right, July time frame, and then Jackson County, I think September.
Right.
Okay, cool, great. That is awesome. So, yeah, if people need more information, how would you like people to ask any questions? The Facebook group, or which do you prefer?
Yep. So, if you have specific questions, let's target Mingo Madness first, and then if you have specific questions, you can always email me at bevikingtex@gmail.com.
Okay. bevikingtx@gmail, right?
gmail.com.
Yeah, gotcha. Some questions, Brian. Some people are asking about kind of a couple different, same thing. Mingo and Midwest Geobash, will it be the same? Similar to, will it be the same room at all three events? We will probably change it up so that the people that are in one won't have all the answers to the second one. So I've designed it so that I can mix it up a little bit.
I could have made some money. Jeez.
Dang it.
You don't think geocachers would cheat, do you? Because I can't imagine that would be true.
Sharing coordinates, sharing answers.
People don't share answers. A puzzle.
Never happens, Gary. That never happens.
Trying to make money off that. That's what they're trying to do. Oh, that's cool. I know it's hard to tell because this is kind of the first time, but do you have an idea? Because I saw this actually on the Facebook page. Somebody was asking about time. How much time do you think? Because you know how people are at Megas, Brian. They're going to be like, all right, I've got 1 hour, and then we got to go. We got to go do GeoArt or whatever. Do you have any idea of kind of a time frame you think the people? I mean, they can wander around all they want, but
yeah, it's a great question. So here's my expectation. The way we're going to build it out is we're going to have 3 panels. So think about a triangle, right?
Okay.
And each triangle will have a team, and each will do it in 20-minute increments. And so you'll have 20 minutes to solve the escape room.
Okay.
You can't solve the escape room in 20 minutes. It'll be time. And so whoever can solve it in 20 minutes, we'll keep track of time. So we'll try and do some kind of a reservation system. We haven't really figured out the details of that yet, but
Sure.
my expectation is we'll try and say, hey, 20-minute increments, get your team together, a team, whatever you feel comfortable with, 6 to 10 people.
Right.
And then we'll go 20 minutes. We'll get probably 5 minutes to reset the room and then go again. And so we'll probably do, if we can do 10 people, so that's 30 people, hopefully do, 100 people an hour, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Well, cool. Well, we'll throw your email address, of course, in the show notes. But again, thank you so much, Brian, for popping on and definitely keep us up to date.
That's a cool addition for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This is gonna be great. And like I said, anything happens, or if you want us to mention anything additional, of course, let us know. And we'll throw it in our news section of the show going up until Mingo and Craig has a question.
Yeah, I do, Gary. This is specifically for Geocache Talk Patreons. Is it true that we go first? The Patreons of Geocache Talk go first, yes? Yeah? That's right, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean,
or at least get a hint.
Right.
We can look really good, right? That we solve it. We're super smart.
Exactly. There you go. So yeah. Enjoy it. Well, viewers, Patreons.
You don't have to tell us that off air. We can't make everybody else jealous.
Put them on the spot. That's funny.
Do you want to go first or do you want to go last?
No, first, so I can get it done and out of the road and sign the book and go off caching.
That's true. Or show up with information in hand. I heard of somebody mentioned about Neil Moore said about phone a friend from the escape room.
That's right.
Well, that's who I'm with. I'm with Bob Billy and I'm with Hailmeister. I mean, what chance have we got of getting out of this bloody thing? Like, it's incredible. Like, it's not going to happen.
You're gonna be stuck in such a way that we're gonna have to send like fire and rescue to get you out of there.
We say it's a triangle. It's going to be the Bermuda Triangle for us because we're going to just be lost right in the middle.
That's awesome. Yes, that's awesome.
It'll be the first event to lose a geocacher.
Yes,
We won't be able to find them again.
No.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, again, thank you so much, Brian. Stay in touch with us, my friend, and we'll keep the word going on that. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good addition.
Y'all in fantastic Colby, Kansas, man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just left there this morning, in fact.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Yeah, Neil Moore says it'll be the Three Stooges. So, all right, cool. Thanks again,
See y'all
Brian.
soon.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Who would I be? Curly? Was it Curly Mo? And who's the other one?
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Mo, Larry, and Curly. I don't know.
Or there's one more.
There was more.
Yeah.
Who else could be? Well,
you know what?
Well, it was the Three Stooges.
The chat room can throw the other one up there. We won't even say who the other one was.
There's Three Stooges. Is there Four Stooges?
Right, but their cousin had to come in at once for a couple seasons.
Oh, see,
Yeah, there you go.
you lost me now. Yeah.
Lost it now.
Otherwise, the only other one I know is Abbott and Costello. But I mean, I'm no Costello or Abbott, or whoever's the skinny one.
Laurel and Hardy. I know.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to see. We'll quiz you on American pop culture here in a little bit. But anyway,
there you go.
So now let's switch to what we call the regular news. Got a few things we want to mention, and then we'll get right into the show. But I've been cleared to do this. Yes, brand new book out. 201.
And that's still the author's copy too. That's not even the final copy.
I got a box of them over here for everybody, if they want it. But
oh no, Gary just spilled the beans.
What? What is that?
Hey, you could have waited until Mingo. You've only got like 30 something days left on Mingo.
Yeah,
you couldn't wait, could you?
Oh, well.
That's more corny than a cornfield. This is ridiculous.
I couldn't wait any longer. Is it really shameless?
No.
Is it shameless? I have no shame.
No.
So then I guess it's shameless. Then there you go.
There you go.
All three of us are authors, Gary. That's the thing.
That's right.
I didn't tell you. I actually got my first paycheck the other day from Amazon for mine.
That's awesome.
I got $1.63.
Yes, awesome.
So if anybody's thinking about getting into the geocaching book writing game, do it for the love. We're just telling you now, do it for the love. You're not.
Yeah.
You know,
all $5.
You're not going to be confused with Stephen King. It's not.
No.
You're not, you know, they're not backing the money truck up to your door.
No.
You just have to do it because you enjoy the game and you want to give something back and have something to go on the back of geocachers' toilets. That's
true. There you go. Anyway, so this was a worldwide one. We talked about Australia before the show with Craig here, and so anyway, I think people will enjoy it. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, take a breath, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, South Korea, Spain, and Sweden, and then United Kingdom and United States. And you're saying, but wait, Gary, that's only 18 countries. But wait, there's more. Canada, I have 20 caches in the book, and the U.S. has 20. Reason being is because U.S. and Canada is where currently most of our listeners are. My book, my rules. So there are.
You made it all up anyway, didn't you?
No, man. I did a lot of research. It was a lot of fun, really. I was fascinated by what the top 10 most popular were in every country, and there's a lot more we'll talk about some other day. We got too much to go on tonight, but
that's for another show, Gary.
It is
another show.
That is for another show because, boy, let me tell you, and this is something that Craig will mention tonight, which is there are a lot of differences with the way people cache. Not only that, it's not really that more than it is. I got my new mic, so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to maneuver things around here today.
Wait, we got a more important question from the Pizza Ninja. How many Wherigos are in the book?
There are. How many? I'm not sure.
Better be a lot.
There, yeah. I didn't do it by cache type. I did it by most popular, so it's a little different.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, a little different, but there are Wherigos in there that are. Yeah.
You didn't take my suggestion though, did you? I know you didn't, because we talked about this before you built this book, and I tried to convince him to make up a fake geocache to throw in the book. Just to see how long it was till people caught it, because nobody's done all those caches.
There may be some Easter eggs though that are hidden.
There better be Easter eggs in a geocaching book.
There are Easter eggs in a geocaching book. Not as many as Jesse. Jesse likes to put lots of them in there. So.
I can't help it. I'm kind of a hidden joke kind of guy. But here's the challenge I would throw out there. If anybody has found all the caches in Gary's new book, we want you on the show. We're going to interview you because you must be the richest man that's ever geocached ever. So.
And just to let your listeners know, Gary, as well, we went through the Australian ones just before the show.
Yeah.
And people think that it's just purely based on favorite points alone. And I can tell you now, it's not. I mean, your top one for Australia, it's only been out and about, I think, for 2 years. Yeah. So it's not a high favorite at all. It's a high percentage favorite, of course, but it's not the most favorited cache in Australia in terms of favorite points. So what's it based off? Like, what's the
Wilson? Wilson there's an algorithm out there.
Yeah.
Basically, in a nutshell, what it is if you found a cache and you are a premium member, did you give it a favorite point? And so it tosses out, if you're a basic member, you kind of get left off the list, as it were, because there's no way to sort of figure out, because they can't give a favorite point.
They can't give favorite points. That's right.
Right. So it's based on not just favorite points, but if you could have, did you? And then it's built off of that algorithm. So anyway, so there you go. Come get a copy at Mingo, buy it on Amazon. Enough of the shameless plug.
Gary will both sign it and do a dance for you.
I will sign it.
And it's cheaper than the cash.
Dance part? We didn't decide on that. I thought okay, go ahead. Never mind.
Cash only at Mingo. Cash only.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good. All right, other news real quick, and then we got to get on. We got to get talking with Craig here in a minute, but one of the last items I want to mention, see what you guys think. Have you guys looked at the new souvenir challenge?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Initial thoughts.
Craig, you go first.
Well, I just think it's exactly the same as what we've already been dealt with before, or similar to. The only difference is now is that they're trying to promote the Adventure Labs. So they're with the extra points for doing Adventure Lab stages, and I do believe it is stages. So you get one Adventure Lab, which is 5 stages. You get 5 of the points. 5 lots of the points. So technically, you only have to do 5 Adventure Labs, and you get six Adventure Lab series, and you actually get all the souvenirs.
Yeah. So right, you're exactly right. So if you find
they're finally able to incorporate that, which is great.
Yes,
that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you find an Adventure Lab, it's worth 10 points. Again, they always love the favorite point. Found a cache with 10 plus favorite points, you get, which is confusing. You get 9 points for anything that's over 10 favorite points. If you find an Earth cache, what? Just kidding. You get 8 points. If you find a mystery cache, it's worth 7. A multi's worth 6. Just a generic cache worth 5. A where it goes worth -6. So I'm not sure why they threw that in there, but
they're trying to do this for real geocachers this time.
I'm just kidding.
And they're doing it for iPhone users as well, Gary, with the new Whereago app. You see, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Nick Hubbard, what a great man he is. That new Wherego app is brilliant.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So yeah, so those are the points. And then you'll get rocket science is worth 50 points, geology 100, environmental science is 200, and futurology is worth 300. So there's a couple reasons why I like this. Okay.
So one, they're able to do something with labs, which is good because that's a good thing, especially during the COVID times, right? We all, whether you like labs or not, they were good for a lot of people during COVID times because people wanted a distance, and we don't get into politics stuff here, right? But if you feel comfortable being in crowds, that's fine. But some people didn't, and you could do these generally without having to get right on top of people. So I think that was a great thing they did, and labs are one of their things, so they should promote it, right? But also with this and the other recent ones, they're partnering more with space and science stuff.
Yeah.
Which for some of us, we're like, we don't care. But if you think about it, they really need to get some of the younger kids involved in it, and with school and education and everything else, and having a tie-in so it's more friendly and easy to tie into kids. And I think that's a huge benefit for the future of geocaching.
Yeah.
Not that we're all dying off soon, but geocachers are not usually 20 years old. That's not your normal demographic, right? I want to be nice about that, right? But none of us just graduated high school.
Oh, well, we're still young, Gary. What are you talking about? Mate? How old do you think I am?
Maybe you didn't graduate high school. I don't know. That's fine, whatever. But we're not recent. I really think the game is going to benefit a lot by bringing in some of these kids that are, and people will say, oh, kids, they don't know what they're doing. Well, that's right. We didn't either. But these kids are super smart when it comes to like building gadgets and gizmos, stuff that I don't know how to build. And that's the stuff that's really cool. And they're doing good with these promotions to bring in some of the younger people, which I think is awesome. And, it doesn't apply a lot to the people in this room, but so hold on, but let me finish before I say this. This is more difficult than some of the ones they've done in the past. I get that it's not for us, right? We're cachers on a different level. We're on a podcast. We're talking to people that are in the podcast, chat room. These are the advanced people, but that's not everybody. So they are stepping it up some. You can't throw some challenges at people. There's challenges you throw at geocachers you think are ridiculous. They'll beat them every time. But for the general public is what they're doing it, right? So I think it's great that they're adding a little more complexity to it. So, I think they're doing great with the promotions, and they're not watered down like find 100 and that's it. That's all there is to it. There's no story behind it. They're really putting more into it. So I'm happy about them. So I just want to make sure we praise that a little bit because they're doing a good job with it.
Yeah. And they are pushing the Adventure Labs quite a bit. But in saying that as well, just to go off, not off track, but a friend of mine who is I call them geo-friendly. In other words, they know what geocaching is about. They sometimes may grab a cache with me every now and then, but they don't do it themselves predominantly, and they don't have an account. Well, I did an adventure lab with them as well, and all of a sudden they're like, "What's this? I want to now play the adventure lab." So they've downloaded the adventure lab app on their phone, and they go out now separately, just doing adventure labs only.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I think they've pushed the adventure labs quite nicely because maybe that's the way this game is heading. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, they're wearing me out in the chat room, but I did not say this is a podcast for old people. I'm just being honest. You know, none of us, not none of us in the whole chat room, but the three of us are not 20 years old. Let's put it that way, right?
What is that you're saying?
As a matter of fact, geocaching wasn't a thing when we were 20 years old, so we'll just move on past that. So,
well, I never. Well,
no, just.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we just missed the mark.
I just missed the mark. I mean, Gary missed it by miles. Let's be honest.
I missed it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I did miss it by miles. Let's see. It was my youngest was no. I was gonna say I thought he was 20 years. He wasn't quite 20 by that time. So, all right. Well, I think we've covered enough news for now.
Gary doesn't buy green bananas.
No, I do not.
They jumped on it.
I am not no. You need to stay off my lawn too.
That's right.
Don't get on my lawn.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. All right.
What does this become? That's for another show, Gary. That's what that is.
That's right. That's for another show.
Oh, Lola's dream. You're forever 18.
Mm. She still looks 18. What is she talking about?
She's a vision, a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks. And then the husband has to jump in.
Well, of course we all have gray hair. That's not even close. So
I've only got spots here and there. I'm receding more than gray. That's my problem, is the receding.
Yeah.
It happens. Who cares? I earned every one of them.
You wear a hat to do your.
This covers up some of those. So.
Yeah.
Those indiscretions.
That's right.
Before we get in, we'll have the Craig show here in a minute, but Jesse just got back. You want to tell everybody what you were up to, or what can you tell? What is it that you
kind of in the theme? I did just arrive back from Colby. I may have been out scouting locations for a whole lot of lab caches for Mingo.
Nice.
A bunch. We won't say how many yet, right? Because that'll happen. There is a bunch of geo art coming. There's some opportunity for some FTFs on some earth caches.
Yep. That's awesome.
I'm not going to say how many yet, but all brand new in a brand new state park. Ryan, who of course is the king of Mingo, did a good job and reached out to everybody. And one of the state parks actually said, yeah, we would love to have people come down here. So there will be a whole bunch of brand new earth caches coming out, lab caches, geo art. So it was one of those run around things. And we got to sample the local cuisine again. And I even got to visit the virtual again at Mingo, which was awesome. It's still there. I'd be kind of scared if it wasn't. But I have to say, I'm really, even before, I was excited before, obviously, because we've been working on this for a long time, but I'm even more excited for Mingo now because everybody in town is so nice.
Yes.
They're so nice. And we definitely, I'll have to admit this, we overate while we were there, but we wanted to try out a bunch of different restaurants.
Yep.
We talked to everybody in town and we're like, yeah, we're in town for, Mingo. They already knew what we're talking about.
Oh,
they know it's there. They're happy it's going to happen next month. I was at one location, which I can't say yet because that's where some of the lab caches are going to be.
Okay.
And the owner knew all about it. They were very happy to be helpful. They were happy they're going to even come over. We talked to 2 or 3 people that aren't even cachers in town. They're like, we're curious. All these people are coming to town. We want to know what it is. So we're going to come over and check it out.
That's awesome.
I didn't know how to explain the concert, but I got most of the stuff explained. I'm like, it's a concert about this hobby, singing and a bunch of stuff that you won't understand at all, but I'll check it out anyway. It'd be a lot of fun.
So travel bugs.
Yeah. You don't want to say travel bugs to people. They're like,
no, they won't know.
Especially hotel people. That's not.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
They're gonna glaze over.
COVID and
everybody in town was super nice.
Lori says she's got the event submitted. Casey
Little Jerusalem. You maybe tell them where the earth caches are. Oops.
No, we're not saying that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying there's an event on
There
Thursday.
is an event there.
Hopefully, it'll all get approved, but that's a Thursday event at a very cool location. So if you come into town and because people are asking, what is on what day? Well, Thursday is an event out in Little Jerusalem. Hopefully, if it gets approved, Lori set that up, so that's wonderful.
We have to tell people about Little Jerusalem because it's not what you think of when you think of Kansas.
No.
And I spent a bunch of time there Saturday, and it's beautiful.
I guess you can let people know a little bit about the location, I think, can't you?
Yeah. So without getting all nerdy, sciencey, if you think of Kansas, we all think of like flat fields. That's what the majority of Kansas is, right?
Wheat fields, as far as the eye can see.
Wheat fields, wherever you go, that's where Wheat Jesus is, right? So, when you go there, you'll be very shocked to find out there are some really cool geological features there. And shock doesn't even begin to describe it. When Gary and I were there last time, we're like, you want us to go check out a state park with geology stuff in it? Was it going to be like dirt? I mean, what are they going to have? Just like flat dirt, maybe a hill? No, that is not true. There's some really cool things there. And if you look it up, you'll see it. But that might ruin the surprise for you. So I would just say go to the event. We'll spoil it now, but there's going to be earth caches there.
Sure.
They're already approved. There may be something else there too, other types of caches there as well. It'll be a lot of fun, but you will be shocked. If you know anything about Kansas, you'll be shocked that this state park is there. It is really cool.
Well, Jesse, is your fanny pack going to be there?
Oh, gosh. My wife must be in the chat room.
She has been in the chat room. And does it have a trackable? Is it called the Manny Pack? Is it going to be on the Geocache Talk shop? Is it going to be called the Memphis?
So I did purchase a new fanny pack this weekend at Walmart. The wife and the kid were with me. They did not think I would. And it seemed funny at first, but you know what? They're very, very convenient. And
now you're showing your age.
I am enjoying the crap out of it, and it may become a permanent part of my not only geocaching attire, but just going out attire. I wore it all weekend. It was great.
What did you put in it? Like,
how do you make $12 at Walmart? Come on.
What did you put in it? Like, what goes in it?
Everything.
Pens?
See, I mean, it's geocaching friendly already, right? Wallet, phone. I didn't have to put anything in my pockets. It was great.
You need to make it a trackable. I mean, let's be honest as well.
That's right.
With trackables, we go to events and trackables, and you see trackable shirts all the time, especially on ladies. And of course, everyone likes to take a photo of the trackable, like and the ladies are showing that. I want to take a photo of your fanny pack trackable, exactly where it is, Jesse, like that. Yep. That's exactly what I want to do.
That on the internet. That's great. Although, my teenage daughter that was with me did bring up a good point. She goes, now you have a place to put those pins, the geocaching pins.
Yeah.
You pick up, like we have one for the podcast, and I've never had a place to put it. Now I got a place to put my pins. Gary has his hat. I now have my fanny pack. And
that's right.
I'm telling you, I love it 100%. It's great. I don't care how old I look with my, tennis shoes and blue jeans and fanny pack and
the white socks that come up this high as well.
Those are great. Yeah. You can't beat it.
Shorts with a belt on as well. High shorts, high pants with a belt.
Got to.
Yes.
Got to. Yeah. The weave belt, too. I'm going to get the weave belt and wear it. Yeah. You know what?
Stuff.
Y'all are jealous because y'all are not brave enough to wear a fanny pack, and it's great. If you wear one once, you're going to wear it, and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you for letting us know, Chrissy. That was great.
That was good.
Hey, it'll be there at bingo. It'll show up at bingo. Don't worry about it.
That's perfect.
It better have a trackable on. That's all I'm going to say. It better have a trackable on it. I want to see.
I mean, I can, but I'm already a trackable. So
he is trackable.
I guess I'll add another trackable on there too. So yeah.
I mean, there was that lady at the Gigastock who had like 1,000 trackables hanging off her. So you can have one more. Just
that is a good point. You can't have too many trackables. I don't.
You can't. No.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I got my hat, so I'm ready.
Oh, you do. Actually, so do I.
I'm ready.
Oh, wow.
So there we go. Yours is much better than mine, but
mine's the original.
You are.
Yeah, his is legit. So
it's made of alligator.
No, yeah, mine is kangaroo leather. So
kangaroo
leather.
He fought a kangaroo for it, and that's all I'm doing. Okay.
Why was a kangaroo wearing a hat? How did you have to fight the kangaroo for a hat?
That's right.
Well, it was hopping, quite madly. Like I had to actually catch it.
I didn't know they wore hats.
Yeah, well, it's very sunny in Australia, so that's what it is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that makes
sun.
sense.
So
We have gone way left without even starting to talk about Craig's new immigration status.
We all knew this is going to happen. We all knew this is going to happen. I mean, we're halfway through the show already. We're talking about fanny packs. We're talking about hopping kangaroos. It's just out of control.
Oh yeah, see now that's not nice. That's just mean. It's just flat out mean there. So all right, let's get started. So take us back to how this all began. I guess first tell everybody what you're doing. I mean, where are you right now? Let's talk about that.
Okay. Long story short, right now I'm located in New Jersey, central New Jersey. Of that, I'm on what they call a K1 visa, which is the 90-day fiance visa. And yes, the show is true. That's what actually happens, and I'm living that show at the moment. So
there you go.
I've got another what is it now? I think it's 45 days to get married to stay in America. If she doesn't like me anymore and wants to get rid of me, then I'll leave in 45 days time. So that's where I am.
That's awesome. So yeah, because somebody asked early on in the show. Whoa.
Oh,
what happened here?
What happened there?
Wrong button, Gary.
We're pushing buttons. Somebody asked earlier, because they thought, I guess you were still living there. So it's no,
I'm over here now.
He's over here now. At least we're hoping.
Yeah, I've been here since February 22nd. I arrived in the US. So basically, how it all started though was back at Gigastock times. When I was doing my trip across America, remember I was driving that big van, the colored van, and you see them everywhere now. But anyway, I was driving that across America. Went to Gigastock. After I went there, the very next day I was just west, and I was at a cache. There was no one else around. This cache was quite a cool cache, and so I started to periscope. And as you know, Gary, I used to love my periscopes.
Oh yeah,
and I started to periscope this cache, and there was no one else around. The next minute, a car pulls up, and out pops this bombshell blonde of a woman, and I'm like, my jaw dropped, and I went, blah, 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 blah. Like I think I buffled a little bit when I talked.
Right.
Anyway, she come up, and I said, are you a geocacher? And she's like, yeah, hi, how you going? And then she heard the accent. Yes. And she's like, oh, I love your accent. And I said, oh, yeah. I think I said I love yours or something. I think I meant something else. But anyway.
You mumbled something.
I did mean something. Well, then I finished the video. She signed the cache, and I just left her to be. And then about 3 days after that, she found my social media posts, like this, the Aussie geocacher Seemyshell.
Yes.
And she added me on Instagram, and I looked and went, oh. And so we weren't really chatting about anything on Instagram. It was just like she said, oh, are you the guy that I met? I went, yeah, I think I am. And that's all it pretty much was. I finished the rest of my trip. I went back to Australia. I moved with work in Australia. I spent another 12 months just doing this and that, just being sociable on there, nothing untoward.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about coming up to 2 years ago now, whereby she messaged and she said, look, her and her friends are going to come over to Australia. Yeah. And if she gave me an itinerary of where she wants to go, would it be doable? And I've got, of course, not a problem. And so she gave me this itinerary, and she's ended up being just a typical American, I'll just say that, not realizing how big Australia is, you see. So I then replied saying, that's not doable, and I basically gave her an outline saying that in 2 weeks she wanted to basically fly into Sydney, which would be the same as flying to New York,
right?
Then driving all the way down to Florida, then flying across to LA, and then driving all the way up to Seattle, and then on the way home going via Hawaii for a couple of days. That's what she wanted to do. I'm like, that's not doable in 2 weeks. Yeah, you can't. And so we just started chatting that way, back and forward. Well, what do you think I should do? And so I gave her an idea of an itinerary, and she's like, "Are you factoring in yourself in this itinerary?" Like I went, like staying at my place one night. I said, "Yeah, of course I am. Like I'd like to see you again." Right. and then it just started. It just happened. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it just happens, and And by that time, we said, like, I think this is a thing. Are we an item? And she's like, I think we are.
Awesome.
At which point, are you ready for this, Gary? At which point in time?
It's awesome.
At which point in time, she said, all right, well, we have to meet properly. I said, yeah, we do. And she said, oh, well, I'm booking tickets now as we speak to come over to Australia for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like in a month's time. I'm like, are you serious? Like, yeah. So she came over for 2 weeks and spent like a 2-week first date with me.
That's awesome. That's way to speed things up.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we got to know each other properly and whatnot. She saw my friends over there and whatnot. Yeah. And then they came back. She came back again with her friends a month later. And I then toured with them and her friends as well. And we toured. I was basically the driver and tour guide. We went all the way down the coast and then up through Canberra, the ACT, and then back up and out of Sydney. At which point then she met all my family, you see. At the same time, that's when I proposed during that time as well. So, yes, that's where I proposed.
That's awesome.
And then, and then that's how it's been from there. Now, just how's this for a bit of a romance too? Let's just go to the romance side of things, right? So we met at a geocache location in Indiana.
Yep. Right.
When she came over for the first time, I said to her as well, I said, we can't kiss at the airport. She's like, what? I said, no.
Nope.
Because I took her to the most eastern geocache in Australia. And that's where we had our first kiss, was at the most eastern geocache in Australia.
Got to be on the coast.
Yeah. And then I proposed at probably one of my top favorite 5 geocaches I've ever done, which actually is a beautiful lookout area and overlooks my hometown.
Oh, neat.
And so I proposed at the geocache location as well. See, so all this, geocache
fit together.
So I've got all the coordinates of all our firsts.
Oh, that's right.
Very good.
Awesome. Yeah, you can put that on your wedding napkin or something.
Yeah, or on the meme or something. So
yeah.
So
a couple things. Darren mentions he's Australian. He lives in Australia. You can take the guy out of Australia, but can't take the Australia out of the guy.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And then somebody's, what was it? I gotta find this other one. It was kind of funny. Pizza Ninja. Is Australia bigger than Texas? Actually found the other day. I found a website where you can
overlay.
Yeah, you can take, because a lot of us don't realize a couple things. One is how small. We always think of Australia as small, but if you overlay it over the U.S., it covers a good portion of the U.S. So
it's about 98% same size.
Yeah.
Like it's close enough.
Yeah. It's a cool website because you can grab Greenland and pull it down. Oh my gosh. Greenland's tiny.
Yeah.
It's tiny compared to, so you grab it and it fixes the Mercator projection for all you nerds out there. Go check out the website. I can send it to you, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Australia is a lot larger than people think.
Yeah.
But
if they ever do the film festival again, you have a good story, an unbeatable story, because it's true.
Yeah. Well, they did actually do a gift submission on that once, and I do remember the filming of it too, because it was a constant filming. They met at a Ceto, if I remember correctly, at one of the gifts, and they met at a Ceto, and then they went through and they went doing caching together. And he did a similar thing where he hid the engagement ring inside a cache.
Oh,
so, yeah.
But that's just fiction. It doesn't count if it's not real. Come on.
No, that was real. That's their true story. You see, that was their true story. Yeah.
Okay. I thought he just made it up for that.
No. That's their true story. I mean, when I proposed, people ask me, how did I propose? Well, it's a massive cliff, right? Think about that. It's a massive cliff. There's an ammo can. The ammo can's on a chain and it's hanging halfway off this cliff, right? And you have to literally, put your chest over and drag up the ammo can via the chain. That's how it works. Well, she didn't want to look over. Her friends were there watching. They knew what was going on. I pulled up this ammo can, whatever, and I opened up the ammo can. She was signing the logbook, and I'm fiddling around in my pocket. And as she gave me the logbook back, I was already on one knee with the ammo can, you see. So I just, nice. I know. It was, I had planned. Anyway, I pulled out the ring box, and she's looked at me with these open eyes, and I accidentally dropped the ring box over the edge of the cliff, and it went, poof, gone. And she freaked out. She's like, no. And then I'm like, oh, hang on, no, I've actually got it in this pocket. Sort of thing.
It's very Craig. I love it.
It is. It is. I mean, her heart skipped a beat twice, in the space of 2 seconds. I'm like, yeah, look at that,
That's perfect.
Funny.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So that's how I actually proposed. So, and lucky for me, she said yes. So that's a good thing.
No, that is awesome. So yeah. And then the crazy part about this whole thing is that, after Geo Woodstock, well, this all was in motion.
Mm.
And then about this time, a little before this time last year, everything starts to shut down. So how did
Not
that
only
affect-
that, you're jumping ahead already. When you proposed, y'all both lived on different continents.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're skipping over the part where you live on the opposite ends of the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the details later, right? But
she kind of knew. Like, I mean, I never ask. Like you, Jesse, as well, like being a cop and that as well. And that is, you never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. So I knew there was going to be a yes. Of course, I wouldn't look stupid otherwise, egg on my face, with a no. So the reason why I ask is because this was the best way at the time to actually get us together in the shortest period of time, going through the K1 fiance visa. If I come over here and got married over here, I still would have to go back before going through the spousal visa, which is different again. So it made it a lot easier for me to do it this way. We started the paperwork in January of last year. We submitted all the paperwork.
Right.
Normally it would take anywhere between 4 to 6 months for the paperwork to go through, and everything's fine. Well, obviously with COVID, the NVC shut down for a period of time. The embassy in Sydney shut down for a period of time. All this sort of lengthened out the process. Yeah. I managed to get my interview in the embassy in Sydney in January, and then flew over here in February.
What is that you can share from that as far as what are they kind of looking for? Are they trying to figure out, can you make it in America? I mean,
there's several factors. Number one factor is this a real relationship? Because you think about it, it's not just Australia, it's all the other countries as well. And I'm not going to say any other countries which, would want to come to America, for the wrong reasons, Nigeria. But I'm just saying, there's other countries out there would come to America for the wrong reasons.
You're a mail order groom, is what you are.
I am. And hello, I mean, look at that. Why wouldn't I be?
Yes. Please.
I've got a mirror, man. I can see myself.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's the number one. Jesse. The number one reason is it a real relationship? Number one. Number two, they look at and you do sign paperwork whereby your fiance or the petitioner, being the person in the American citizen, can that American citizen, male or female, support you through a period of time? In other words, I'm not allowed to go on your unemployment benefits for, I think it's 5 years.
Did you explain geocaching during the interview?
Actually, I did.
I'm sure you did.
That's great.
I did.
How did y'all meet? Well, let me tell you a story.
I tried to, but my interview was over that quick. It was insane. I think my interview was over when he said to me, why do you want to go to America and not say in Australia? And I said to him, my exact words were, well, if you saw a photo of her, then you'd want to go to America or anywhere around the world as well. She's a cracking sort. And that means good in Australia. I have to be careful with that, apparently, that word. Anyway.
There's some different words, but that's a whole other show, right?
That's
another show. That's for another show. That's for because there's definitely things that we would think we say, and you're like, well, you can't say that in Australia, and vice versa. There's stuff.
Well, not so much that way. So in Australia, we find that we've brought up obviously a lot with we're very Americanized. Whatever happens in America literally ripples out to the rest of the world, including politics. Anyway,
we don't do that on this show.
No. That's not for another show. That's not for another.
Yeah,
that's not for another show. Yeah.
But everything ripples out, and including all your films, your music, your television, all that ripples out. And so we get used to an American accent, your American slang, your American words and what they mean. So for me, listening to any American speak, I kind of know exactly what they're talking about, every word they say.
Sure.
Role reversal, no. I've had so much trouble here. Like I've had to literally start talking a little bit more like an American to be understood.
Yeah.
You know, I go to a bar and I say, you get a mate, can I have a beer? And they're like, a what? I said a beer. They what?
Beer?
I go, oh, sorry, can I get a beer? Can I get a beer? And roll the R. They go, oh, you want a beer? Yeah.
Oh, beer. Yeah, I'll get you a beer. That's sort of North
It is very different, though. We don't get a lot of, unless you seek it out, we don't get a lot of foreign television and movies here, right? So it's
right.
It is the opposite. Now, if you do watch it, you don't speak that way, but you can understand it. So the filter kind of adds there, and it's it's very different. And because we only get one side of it most of the time, unless you seek it out.
Yeah,
we don't. It's almost like a foreign language, although we all speak English, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah,
and all of those. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly. And Australian slang is strong. It is really strong. We shorten everything we can. Like even with COVID, for instance, you want to be good with COVID. You want some hand sanitizer. You turn around and go, oh, when you're at the shops, can I get some Sanny? Right. Some Sanny, which is hand sanitizer. Like, we shorten everything all the time. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Somebody mentioned, we'll get into a little bit of the accent, a little bit more of the accent information here in a minute. But Andrew was saying, to be honest, I'm surprised you haven't gotten an American accent already. He's got one. He's working on it. Okay.
I'm working on I'm working on the see that straight away. Like a common American accent.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like if I'm common American, then I don't actually come from the North and I don't come from the South. I'm just it's a common American accent.
Yeah.
It's getting there. It's rounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny too, because if you're here for a while and you travel a bunch and you've been here for a while, you'll be able to pick out where people are from in America based on their accent.
Yes.
The more you travel, the more you better do that, right? So
yeah.
I mean, as growing up too, I was able to pick out, well, my parents were both from the Midwest. So I have sort of a baseline of Midwest, and then I throw in my Texas accent, kind of throw in there. So it's kind of funny how we kind of have, Jesse has his sort of Tennessee accent, but then, we all have these different
Jesse, you can tell Jesse straight away when he goes, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all come back now. You hear? That's
right. And what's funny about that is that's after a decade of not living in Tennessee.
That's right.
I've been over a decade outside of the South, living in Colorado. But Gary, I've decided I know what show we need to have. We need to put Trinity and Seemyshell in the same room together, and nobody will understand anything they're saying, and neither will they.
Right. I told him about
both have a million words said within the hour, so it'll be funny.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking about before the show how we were in the Denny's in Cisco, Texas, and we're talking to Action Trinity and her boyfriend Vinny, and oh my gosh, Vinny he is more New York Italian accent than anyone. He is the quintessential New York Italian.
Yeah, what a great guy, right? That was so cool.
Oh, God!
Some of my in-laws who I was with today for Easter. Yeah. Happy Easter, by the way.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Some of my in-laws that I was with today, they're from Brooklyn, and there was this four young girls from Brooklyn, and oh man, they talk like this, and I'm in awe. I'm like, oh yeah, and they go, the dog needs to get in the car. I'm like, oh yeah, a dog.
Yeah,
get the dog in the car.
Was Snatched where you like dags? What? You like dags?
You like dags? Well, depends on where they are, but
you meant dogs. Do you like
the dogs?
Dogs. Oh, okay, dogs. Okay.
They spell dog, I think, with a W in the middle, but anyway, that's just as different.
I want to jump back to some of the differences in geocaching. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk a little bit about. I'm actually jump way ahead. So now that you're here, what are you currently doing, and what are some hopefully some future plan, or well, you got future plans, but
Yes.
what are some potential future plans you have that you're kind of working on?
Okay, so I'm going to make everyone in America jealous right now by saying this because I'm from Australia and because of our Australian rules when it comes to workplaces. They are so good in comparison to the US. So I've been in my position as a police officer in New South Wales in Australia for 19 years.
Yeah.
At which point in time we get 6 weeks off a year vacation leave as normal. We get 2 weeks off sick leave, which can accumulate and doesn't stop accumulating throughout the years.
Wow.
And then after 7 years of service, we start to accumulate what they call long service leave, which then can accumulate more and more and more. And so, as I said, 19 years now in the service, I've got that much long service leave up my sleeve that I put a report in to say, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm moving to America. There's a possibility, obviously, that we either both go back to Australia if things don't work out here, me being in America, or things don't work out with she doesn't like me anymore for whatever reason, I snore or something. That I go back to Australia. So I said, can I take my long service leave? And they said, yes, you can. So I'm on 12 months half paid leave from my work.
Awesome.
So in 12 months' time, I can go back to Australia and go straight back in my job at full pay. So also at the same time, I'm still getting paid half my wage. So for the next 12 months, and I'm over in America, like go figure. So there you go, America.
Yeah.
Yes, we are jealous, by the way.
Yeah, we are.
In case there's any question, we are jealous.
Yeah, we suck compared to that. That's incredible.
Yeah, we tend to work ourselves to death. That's what we do.
Yeah, I know. There's so many people I've spoken to that said, like, they get 2 weeks vacation leave a year. I'm like, 2 weeks? They're like, yep, 2 weeks a year. People are blown away by the fact that I can take, my 6 weeks all in one go normally.
Yeah.
Every year I can take 6 weeks off. Bang. I can take a full month off. I mean, I did it for when I drove across America, a couple of 3 years ago now. I took 30 days off to drive across America.
Incredible.
Full pay,
Not only that, not only do a lot of people get only 2 weeks, a lot of people don't take it.
Yeah.
They don't even take their vacation.
That's true. So Neil's asking about cost of living differences. In general, do you think that it costs more to live here or to live where you were living? You were in Casino?
Yeah, I was in a place or a little town. It was actually a town called Casino in New South Wales. Yeah. It's pretty much only an hour sort of west of Byron Bay. A lot of people know where Byron Bay is, thanks to Liam and Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
But it was near Byron Bay in New South Wales there. And so cost of living, it's comparable. But I will say this annoys the heck out of me. And that is, if you haven't been to Australia, you don't know the true meaning of this. In Australia, you go to a supermarket, you can go to a store, you can go to a Target. The price tag you see on that item is the exact price you pay.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You don't have to do your little math afterwards.
Because in Australia, we have what they call a GST, goods and services tax, which is a federal tax. We don't have state taxes, town taxes, county taxes, hot food tax, whatever you guys have. Like,
Right.
it's serious. It's insane. So whatever the price tag is, whatever you see, that's the price tag in which it is. That's
Christy's welcome to American taxes. Yeah.
So it's I went to McDonald's the other day. They go, oh, there's a special on these 2 burgers for $4. I went, yeah, I'll get the 2 for $4. I went around. They go, there's $4.35. Thanks. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're like, what?
They say plus tax. Everything's plus tax.
Everything's plus tax.
So
especially up your way, there are, especially in Massachusetts, you'll find a lot of weird taxes versus. I mean, New Jersey, I assume, probably has state income tax.
Oh, New Jersey price taxes is insane.
Yeah. See, in Texas, we don't have any state income tax, but we do have all these crazy. We pay a lot actually in sales tax, but then we don't have income tax, so it's kind of these weird. But anyway, we won't get all that. But
it's a weird game that none of us like to play.
Colorado has a lot of weird taxes, so yeah.
Yeah, you may get a tax that's a regional tax, that's a city tax. You may get all kinds of taxes, and
I'm serious. Last night I heard about this hot food tax. You go to a Subway, And if you want it toasted, then it's an extra 50 cents in a hot food tax. Hot food tax. I heard it
Oh
last
my
night.
gosh, that is silly.
That's insane.
And the other thing I like as well, Andrew Bush in the chat room, he says, and you don't get an invoice when you leave hospital in Australia or New Zealand.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah. We
I
can have
had
a whole
everything.
show on that alone. Yeah.
I had everything done before I come over here. My fiance Alana here, she said, make sure you get like full body external, internal checkup before you get here to America because it's just insanely expensive.
They'll charge for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did. And you know what? I had a little cancer on my ear. And they saw it straight away. The next day I'm back in there. I'm getting it cut out. You know, I went back after that to get the stitches out.
Yep.
Everything free. Everything free.
All paid for. Wow.
All paid for by my.
You're just making stuff up. That's not real.
That's not the real world. No,
we're not even going to talk about that. Let's talk about geocaching. This is terrible. This is depressing.
But before we go, I will have to say this, and that is, I'm actually looking while I'm here in terms of work-wise.
Yes,
and I'm putting this out there as well. Anyone needing any quality work, whether it becomes sort of security level work, let me know because I'll be looking at doing some sort of probably security work in the not too distant future.
Yes,
but I'm also I'm studying at the moment in doing 2 acting courses, and I'm looking at doing some sort of film and television work too. So
awesome.
if you're out there as a film and television manager, by all means, hit me up. Seemyshell at yahoo.com.au. Like,
there you go. Perfect.
I'm plugging myself like you wouldn't believe.
No, that's great. Yeah, because you've done some of that a little bit before. It's not like you've never done that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to do it in Australia as a second job, you see. So, and did quite a few different shows, commercials and whatnot as well. So, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that when we talked about before the show, that you're able to learn, and there's been several, we talked about Tom Holland, the Spider-Man who has a, he's British, his British accent, but yet he's learned to do an American
common American. It's called
common American.
Common American.
Yeah, which works because a lot of people are like, they didn't know he was British, and so, like you said, you can learn. You can sort of dual role. You could obviously do an Australian accent because you're Australian, but you could also, as you're learning how to do, like we talked about this, it's a common American sound.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So you can, without having to worry, like you said, it's sort of New York, but it's not like the heavy New York. It's
not. And really, all you have to do is really pronounce a lot of the actual syllables themselves, and especially the R's, the er. So in Australia, we end up with like er is ah, whereas er here is So that's one of the main components to round off that Australian accent into sort of a common American sort of style.
Right.
So, and a few of the chat room are saying about the Twonky. And yes, I've already been in contact with a Twonky. I was in contact with him 12 months ago. He's a good friend of mine. I went cashing with him when I cashed across the US 3 years ago. And we went cashing together, had some beers together as well. And he was saying to me then, Craig, if you ever come back over here and you want some work, you let me know. So I have spoken to him. I've messaged him. Obviously, with all the COVID stuff, things have changed dramatically when it comes to the industry. There's no, like, all auditions are online nowadays. Nothing is in person, that sort of thing. So, but once I start getting, at the moment, I have done a couple of auditions, but because of my work visa hasn't come through, I can only do volunteer work at this point in time. Right. So student films, that sort of thing. So, not actual paid committed work as yet. So, but
potential resume building. Put, like you said before, you could be in something, maybe not get paid, but yet, hey, it may be uncredited.
Yes,
but it still goes on the reel. It still goes on.
You're exactly right.
The electronic resume,
the IMDb, the whole lot. Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
Yep. Absolutely. So, all right, cool. So let's get into talking a little bit about how you found some caches in New Jersey at this point, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Anything, and the other thing too is this is your first rodeo. You came over for Gigastock.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And not just Gigastock, you really did what people try to think they can do in Australia, which is go across the entire country. You did that. You went you started up, you started in like New York, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I started in New York. I landed in New York.
Yeah.
Actually, a big shout out to the Caching Dead New York, as well, a good friend of mine, and Russell and Iggy G as well. They housed me for the first couple of nights when I was in New York. So yeah,
and then you flew back from California.
Yeah.
So you did. You covered. Now you.
And
I
had to drop in
states, but you covered a lot of states.
Well, I covered 24 states in 30 days, which included Hawaii. Now, the reason why I had to go back to this, I was on a streak, Gary.
Yes,
and Jesse would know as well. I had to stop in at Hawaii because of the time differences and time delay.
Yes.
If I had gone straight from LA back to Sydney, I would have missed a day. And I had to stop in Hawaii to get to keep the streak
that's
going.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The man plans his trip. So when he goes home, he's been in the States for all this time.
Yep.
He's probably tired. But yet he thinks ahead and says, I need to stop in Hawaii on the way back, which isn't a direct flight, which you'd probably want a direct flight.
So let's keep it straight for a minute. If the sacrifice is to stop in Hawaii, it's not that bad.
Well, okay.
It's Hawaii.
But I only stopped. It was only a layover stop, and it was only for the purpose of me. It was only for the purpose of me walking out of the airport, grabbing a cache, and walking back again.
Yeah, you'll have to go back now.
Oh yeah,
I'm going closer. You got to go back.
I should be going back in May.
So, nice.
Yeah. Because I mean, Alana and I've been here since February. I've already been to Vegas, Utah, and Arizona. Like we did a week trip. I missed out on a couple of your Earth caches, Jesse, as well.
Oh,
you got a few Earth caches there in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's forgotten about it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
My daughter actually attends college out there, so.
Oh right, yeah. No, I saw the Earth caches, and I almost managed to get them done, but my partner's like, no, they're too high terrain for me.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a hike out there.
Yeah, and so that's why we didn't. But yeah, so I'm going back. I should be going back to Hawaii in May. And then so what am I now? Because I did a trip here this time last year. I'm now sitting at 36 states I've done of the US so far. Yeah,
that's that's incredible. There are many American geocachers that I don't know. It'd be funny to figure out a percentage, but I bet you a good percentage of them have not found that many states.
A lot of people don't travel to that extent.
No.
For sure. Yeah.
No.
Well, my fiance, she's only got Hawaii and Alaska left as her two states that she hasn't grabbed cash in. Hence the reason why we're going to Hawaii in May. And we've booked and planned a trip to Alaska next year with a cruise, like a cruise ship to Alaska. Oh yeah,
nice.
That's planned and booked as well. So
no, he's right. Yeah, I'm more states than I have. He has more states than I have. Neil says he's got 24. That's about what I'm at. I'm about 24. Jesse's got more states. How many do you got, Jesse?
Well, pre-COVID, Alaska was going to be our 50th state.
That's right.
We have a sprinkle in the East Coast that we need to do.
Yeah.
That we can do in a good long weekend. We were kind of holding that off so we could do that and then do Alaska for our anniversary during COVID, and COVID happened. So we're going to put that off until we can. Really, what we're waiting on, we'll finish our 50 states when COVID is done, and there's no chance that our vacation can be interrupted. Right? Like we want to go and spend at least 10 days in Alaska, because I've been wanting to go to Alaska my whole life. And it's the only state I haven't ever been through, like before geocaching or after. So, I super excited about it. And, but it sounds like Craig's going to beat me to it. So that's not fair. I don't think that's fair. But, I need to be able to go and spend 10 full days at least and not be restricted at all, because I want to go play everywhere. And, I'm really looking forward to Alaska. So, but it's rare so take geocachers out of it. If you look at like normal people, not us weird, crazy geocachers,
muggles.
There's a lot of people, muggles. That sounds like a dirty word. I can't even say that. If you talk to a lot of muggles, some of them have never even left their own state, and they're like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I just got back from another state this weekend. What are you talking about today?
Exactly.
It's weird. Now, luckily, we are in a hobby that encourages travel, like it almost necessitates travel. But outside of this hobby, people have gone to like 3 states in their whole life.
Yeah.
Or never gone outside their own country. I don't. That doesn't even make sense to me.
I want to call out one person here because he always gives me stick, and that is Caching Dead New York. I wonder how many states he's done. I think it's only been New York.
There you go. Yeah.
And some people never want to leave their home state, and that's which is great, right? Everybody does what they want to do, but it's hard for me to imagine not leaving your own state or your own country.
I can't.
Me traveling is part of life, right? So
exactly.
Well, it should be. I mean, really, it's amazing. Susan and I are planning a trip to southern Utah to do some things about that area. Oh, good. It published. Yes. Breaking news. There we go. With the breaking news thing, they published. So Thursday, we want to see everyone who's coming to Mingo. We will talk about Mingo a little bit here in a moment. Definitely come out to Little Jerusalem for the event. That's awesome. So
you will not regret it. Little Jerusalem is sweet. It's a very, very pretty, unexpected place in Kansas.
Yeah. And different people are mentioning that they're getting different states. Sharon saying she has 19 after Mingo. I should have 21. So, that's a part of the world I don't think you've been to, right, Craig? But you're planning on it.
Which one's that? The
Kansas?
No, I actually got Mingo when I did my trip across. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
Yeah, you got it before.
No, I went middle.
Did you go middle?
I went up a little bit and down a little bit to get because I needed it for my Jasma. Because in Australia, there's a couple of months that we don't have at all.
That's true.
So I needed to get them while I was coming across because I didn't know when I was going to be back again. Unbeknownst to me, like, hello, now I'm moving here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's funny the way the world works.
But you get to come back to Mingo because
absolutely. Well, I haven't done the plaque. I need to do the plaque as well. So that's right. And I need to meet Jesse. I haven't met Jesse yet.
We've never been in the same place. No,
that's
never.
Right.
No, you and I had a beer, Gary. That's different.
That's right. He missed Gigastock, sadly, but he'll get to another Giga at some point. I know.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about Gigas. Stop it. That's imaginary. That's not even real. I don't believe it. I don't believe in Gigas. He's
like 5,000 geocaches. There's not even that many available. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. That's fake. Fake news. Fake news.
But yeah, it's great. You are traveling with a couple characters.
Oh, and they're characters in which they are.
They are
characters at that. There's Hailmeister, and I just say Neil Moore, but I like to say Billy Bob.
Yeah,
I hope Billy Bob comes out. I mean, Billy Bob will come out. I'm telling you now. I'm going to have a video chat with Billy Bob at some point. That's a must.
Yeah, and traveling with those guys will be an experience. Will be great.
I just hope they don't snore. They're in the chat room now. I just hope they don't snore because I do apparently. So.
And then you're going to stay with them. So I can't believe that.
Sorry, Bob Billy. I said Billy Bob. It's Bob Billy.
Yeah, Bob Billy. Yeah, we knew what you meant.
Yeah.
No, that is great. So looking forward to seeing so many people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Just I talk about all the time and this is sort of another rare treat to that you're able to be here and also be able to go because we were going to have it last year. You wouldn't have been able to probably come last year.
No, we weren't allowed anywhere. And even to the point where people say to me about coming to America, how did I get out of Australia? And it's true. I had the hardest time with paperwork to get out of Australia through Australian customs than what I did with the K1 visa to get into America.
Wow.
They wouldn't let me out. I got knocked back 3 times, in the space of a week. And I'm like, they're saying I cannot leave Australia. I wasn't allowed to leave Australia. So in the end, I had to sign a document to say, if I leave Australia, if something happens and I come back, then I have to pay for 2 weeks hotel accommodation, including food, in a hotel room where I cannot leave the hotel room. There's police guarding the hotels in Sydney, and it's going to cost me $3,000.
Wow.
In the 2 weeks. So I had to sign a document saying that's what I'll do if I come back.
If you had to come back.
If I have to come back, that's what I'm going to have to do. So, they wouldn't let me out otherwise. People say to me here, in Australia, when I moved over, do you have to hotel quarantine when you get to America? And I go, what, for my own benefit? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just free to walk around. Wear a mask. That's it. Wear a mask.
Were you able to, or have you been able to get any of the vaccines yet?
Yes.
You got.
So I had my first shot. I think 10 days ago. So I got another 10 days and got my second shot from there. So the Pfizer. Pfizer.
Yeah, Visor. Yep, I'm doing Visor of Pfizer. But
Pfizer.
my next one is Thursday, so that's good.
Yeah.
And hopefully, well, I know there's politics around it, but I think overall, the more people we have who get it, it'll be of benefit to everybody.
And then that's a good point as well. Like, to let everyone know, I'll be fully vaccinated come Mingo, so come the event. So if you want to come and say good day, come and say good day. Like,
that's right.
Let's get this world back together again and get it rolling and get the handshakes happening again and whatnot. I miss that. Like, it's really weird to not shake someone's hand when you meet them. Like,
it doesn't sit right with me.
No, me either. If maybe it's us old school, old timers, mate. That's what it is.
That's right. That's oldies.
Us oldies. Can you get past your fanny pack to shake their hand? Like,
that's right. It's perfect. It brings in people closer.
I can just see now somebody walks up to Jesse and they're like, Jesse, I really, really love your show and everything, and wonder if you have a path tag. Oh, wait a minute.
That's right. That's what it's for.
Let me check. I think I got one right here.
It's going to be funny, Gary.
Let me get my Kleenex out of the way. And, Oh, look here. I have one. Here you go.
No, Where Gary, else are you going to keep your coupons, right? I mean, you got to keep your coupons somewhere.
Right.
So
wait, I have a coupon for that. I know I've got one here in my fanny pack.
No. It's going to be, he's going to experience the same thing a lot of women feel, and that is I walk up to him to say, "G'day, Jesse," and he's going to go, "Hello, my eyes are up here, my eyes are up here."
Stop staring at my fanny pack.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe secretly that's the reason why he's doing it. That's the reason why he's actually got it out there. He's got something to sort of promote, so to speak.
Yeah. I need attention. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You need to get a trackable on that thing. I'm just saying.
He does.
I want to get a photo with it. A selfie with your fanny pack. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
We're gonna have too much fun.
Oh we are.
So you're coming up on 8,000. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm coming up on 8,000. So I'm actually planning on doing the maze as my 8,000 because we don't have the maze in Australia at all ever. Right. Never have. I don't think we'll ever will. Nice. So I've never got the maze. So the maze will be a new thing for me. So I'm going to make the maze my 8,000. I was going to do the actual mega, but I've got a few megas as my milestones. But I need the maze. I think the maze.
Have you been able to have you been able to go to a community celebration yet?
Yes, because in Australia we had a lot of things because we pretty much drowned out, like New Zealand, we drowned out the COVID stuff.
Yes.
So we managed to lift all restrictions, like event restrictions, come November last year.
Right.
And so then I hosted my community celebration event straight away. So I've been to my one mostly, and then I've been to one other as well. So yeah.
The other two that we were able, both Jesse and I were able to get or acquire. I don't know how you want to put it, for the locationless. So I was able. They had the banner at the mega, so we were able to get there was GC8 Neat. We got that for the CETO.
I did one for that one as well. We got that
GC8 Frog. So So two locationless for us, which Gary may have been, but I wasn't around when locationless was an option.
No, neither was I.
Yeah, they were around, I think. But you know what? And this is one of those. This is for a regret show. There's several things that I regret not getting type-wise.
Back in the day.
Was to get a true locationless from a true. I like that they gave them those. A lot of people are mad because it's not a locationless. You had to have been there back in the day for that. And I missed
another show for sure because people are silly.
It is we have to do another regret show. We did it once, and the other one was the block party. So I don't know if they'll ever bring a block party back, but oh well.
There's
enough going on out there right now. Let's just be happy with what we do have.
Focus on what we do. Well, see, in Australia, we had this weekend actually was our first mega event that we've had since anything began.
Yeah,
that was in Queensland.
Right.
And even then, they had a snap lockdown in Queensland in the week leading up to the mega event, and they were umming and ahhing whether the mega was going to happen. I think only like maybe a couple of hundred people got there because people weren't going to risk going across the border,
right,
having everything locked down again, and then getting back across, and then having to self quarantine for 14 days because that's what we have to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Australia
that's a big risk.
Strict.
Yeah,
Australia has been so strict in regards to COVID stuff. It's been insane.
Sure.
But the numbers probably say that they did a good job,
Right.
So
we called the show about Seemyshell the Yank, which that was just a joke. We know that.
Yeah.
You'll always be the Aussie geocacher.
Yeah, I'm just residing in New Jersey now.
Which is great. Yes, exactly.
I have zero problem with that name.
I have no problems at all. I mean,
that's right. I don't live in Memphis, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yep,
so, all right. Well, let's kind of go around and give a little bit of final thoughts, and then Craig, we're going to let you go last, so you can kind of let anybody else know what you're doing. And I don't know if some people may not know about some of your social media and your YouTube channel, but I'll start and I'll let Jesse go next. But it's great having you on. We've been we've been mates for a while now, which is great. I love using the term. And I forget. We have to go back and try to figure out. I don't know how we first kind of got to know each other.
I think that's through social media, like maybe even my YouTube channel, and then your podcast. Like I was just one of those just random ones in the chat room on your podcast. And then I think you reached out to me one time and said, "Look, I wouldn't mind you on the show to talk about what caching is like in Australia."
Yeah,
that's right. What it was. That's all it was.
Yeah. For way back when we first started, we're coming up on our fifth year here pretty soon for 5 years. But and then it was just wonderful. It's always great to see people, and so it was great to spend some time with you there in Cincinnati. And you bought me a beer.
Of course.
I need to buy you a beer and Mingo. I'll make up for it. Although beer and Mingo, I don't know.
Huh?
I mean, sure, there's beer somewhere.
I also drink whiskey, just to let you know. I'm
okay, so there you go. Well, I can do that too. So anyway.
There we go.
There we go. See?
Yeah, I probably did see one of. I mean,
I think
you did a lot of periscopes, which is weird. We'll have to talk about. We'll have to get together and talk about whatever.
It's
the
almost gone, I believe.
It's almost gone. I've given away for that reason, but yeah, it's almost gone.
Yeah, I think it might be completely gone.
Could be.
So anyway, again, thank you so much for being on, and it's great that you're here. I mean, we're kind of jealous, or not jealous. We're, we feel privileged the fact that you're with us in the town, in the States. So we'll definitely be able to have you on a little more often. So, but again, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
No, thank you for having me, mate. It's been great.
You bet.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it safely over. I know that was a lot of trouble to go through, and bureaucracy and paperwork and everything else. And now I'm finally going to get to meet you in person because I never made it to Australia yet. So,
yes.
But we didn't even get to the differences in the countries and caching. I know you've been here before or whatever, but now that you've lived here for a little while and cached, we're going to have to get you back on and talk about the differences, because that's one of the most fascinating things for all of us, right? Like moving to a new country as a cacher is totally different than moving to a new country just as a regular person. So we'll have to get to that. But I suspect we'll get to hang out a little bit more at Mingo. So we'll have some fun there too. But thanks for coming on. And it's a great story already. And I can't wait to see how it unfolds for you. It's a big risk and an adventure, right? So, I mean,
it is, but you know what?
We all live adventure, so it's great.
Yeah, exactly right. And I'll just leave you with this as well. And thank you both of you for having me on. It's been great.
Absolutely.
And being a Patreon of this show and a few other different shows as well. Like people out there who aren't Patreons, you've got to support this sort of content. If you enjoy this sort of stuff, I'm letting you know now. Support it any way you can. I mean, what is it, like $3 a month or something like that? That's less than a cup of coffee, for goodness sake. But aside from that, I'll leave you with this, and that is people are worried about caching in Australia because of snakes and spiders and all that sort of stuff. Now, this is for another show. I can tell you that I've recently had a tick infested in my back, and I had to get tested for Lyme's disease already. So there you go. I've cached in Australia for years and years and years, snakes, spiders and everything, and I get done here by a bloody tick. So, no good.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole show about the differences because once you've had a little time to really play around and cache more in America, we'll have to do a whole show on the differences.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people out there, if they want to see more of me as well, obviously go to my YouTube channel, the Aussie Geocacher, Seemyshell, because I have been doing probably about a video once a week while I've been here. Well, there's not much else to do. I'm not working. So I've been doing a video once a week, and my video style is slightly changing up a little bit. It's not just about geocaching. It's more about showing a good area in which there's a few geocaches at. I mean, you will see a couple of caches here and there, but predominantly it is about the location of the area. You know, I've got my drone out, I've got my gimbal working, the whole lot. So, so jump over to my YouTube channel, the Aussie Geocacher, Seemyshell, and you'll see more from there.
Perfect. No, it's been awesome.
Cool. Yeah, perfect.
Well, thanks. And we look forward to it. Yeah, we'll have a great time. We'll get some photos and videos of our time while we're in Mingo. But looking forward to trying to capture a little bit of that, all the different people to be there for the people that don't get to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and between the three of us in one car, the amount of videos that are going to come out, that's just insane, let alone all the other vloggers that are going to be there as well. I think a group of vloggers, do you call that a gaggle? A gaggle of vloggers?
At least a gaggle.
Yeah. A flock? I have to work on that.
A flock of vloggers?
A flock of vloggers?
That could sound differently if you had too many whiskeys, but anyway.
Yeah, I think so. It's a murder of crows, so I don't know what we would call.
That's right.
I'm
sure we can come up with something.
Yeah, I'm sure
Vloggers will work on that. We'll send that out to the GCNW. Work on that. What is a group of vloggers?
We are a different breed of vloggers.
For sure.
Is it a herd? Maybe it's a herd of vloggers.
A herd of vloggers. Well, you will hear a herd of vloggers from a mile away as well. Yes.
Absolutely.
All the cameras are out. They all got their selfie sticks taking pictures and vlogging like crazy. No, we love the vloggers. Somebody's if the Bears show up, you got to throw them a vlogger or two just to kind of
That's right.
Oh, exactly. Exactly right. And as long as you're not the slowest vlogger, then you're right as well. So
that's right.
Caught out by the Bears.
Perfect. All right,
guys. Thanks for having me on anyway, guys.
You bet. Thanks. All right, here we go.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.